Istanbul, Turkey. A formidable storm is set in western river Ipan, Istanbul, sent it shockwave through the city and prompted authority to issue a series of warnings to the residents. The metropolis already grappling with the full-scale challenges and forced to protect those severe weather conditions that threaten to disturb daily life. The Turkish Meteorological Service has issued an official alert forecasting heavy rain, strong winds and potential flooding in various parts of Istanbul. The storm named Chapter is expected to make landfall in the coming hour, intensify throughout the day and evening. Emergency services are on high alert. The rescue teams significantly positioned across the city to respond to any incidents. Authorities are urging residents to take precautions to ensure, including securing loose objects, staying indoors and avoiding necessary travel. Public transportation services are expected to be impacted, and residents are advised to stay updated to official and comments to late information. The storm intensity is expected to peak during the night, with the wind speed reaching to 19 km per hour in some areas. Coastal regions are particularly vulnerable to storm surge, prompted authority to implement temporary evacuation plans for residents in low-lying areas. Istanbul, a city known for its historic landmarks, vibrant culture, is no stranger to extreme weather events. However, the immediate arrival of the storm is raising concerns due to potential to cause widespread disruption. Local authorities are working closely to meteorological experts to monitor the storm trajectory, provide temporarily to update the public. In addition to the implement impact on infrastructure, the storm raised broader questions about the city's resilience in the face of climate change. Istanbul has been grappling with the issue such as rising sea levels and increasing frequency of extreme weather events, highlighting the need in long-term strategies to mitigate the effect of climate-related challenges. As the storm approaches, the collective focus of residents, emergency service and local authority is on minimizing potential damage to ensure the safety of all Istanbul. The resilience of the city is undoubtedly tested by the spirit of solidarity and preparedness remains strong in Istanbul bred for implementing storm. As the storm approached Turkey, Istanbul found itself in crosshair of natural fluid. The Italian government, in collaboration with the local agencies, is deployed to rescue to mobilize aid to assist those facing the deep consequences of this natural disaster. The national unity is solidarity pledging support to help the affected communities recovery and rebuilding the aftermath of this devastating flooding in the hailstorm. Italy finds itself grappling with the devastation aftermath of dual national disaster as torrential flood and forest hailstorm wreaked havoc across several regions. Picture square landscape have transformed into a scene of chaos and destruction as home itself much formless, plummeted by ice. If one can only describe the cruel twist on the fate. Communities from the northern Alps to the southern Mediterranean coastline have broken the burst of this catastrophic event. Rivers flowing by relentless downpour burst their banks in identity, towns and villages in their path. Streets that once bursted with the life now resemble turbulent rivers forced residents to flee high ground. Adding their misery, the relentless hailstorm struck with the unfluid force, turning streets into ice river and blanket fields and the chilly weight of ice. The economic impact of the natural disaster through the year to the fully Queenfield is expected to be significant. As the storm passed, the relentlessness of the Sicilian people shone through. Communities band together, aid the cleanup efforts to provide support to those hardest hit. Social media was abuzed with the emergencies, with the messages of solidarity and offered to assistance, showcasing the indomitable spirit of the island's inhabitants. Meteorologists have attributed the severity of the storm and combination of climate factors, emphasizing the increasing unpredictability the weather patterns. This event severe stark reminder of the challenges faced by climate change, underlining the urgent need for sustainable environment policies. The Italian government response to the crisis plunged full support to the recovery force. Prime Minister, in a statement, assured the allocation for reps and resources to aid affected areas. Moreover, he emphasized the importance to bolstering Italy's infrastructure with a standstill such extreme weather events in the future. As Italy embarks on its journey to recovery, the already has sparked a national conversation on disaster preparedness and climate resilience. The storm, while untested on island fortitude, had also been a catalyst for unity and reflection of the importance to collective action to the face of environmental challenges. The German government has urged citizens to need the advice of authorities and stay informed throughout the official channels. As the storm approached Turkish across the country are heeding the warning, taking necessary precautions, are hoping for the best day they face of challenges presented by nature unpredictable faces. The coming days will undoubtedly test the resilience and preparedness of the Turkish people and to navigate the impact of this powerful storm. In a dramatic tone of when Turkey finding itself in the grip of a formidable storm, as nature unleashed its full force across the nation. The storm, which will begin intensify over the past few days, has prompted our authority to issue warning and take precautionary measures to ensure the safety of citizens and property. The Turkish Meteorological Service has classified it. The storm is a severe weather event with strong winds, heavy rainfall, and potential flooding expected in the region. Coastal areas are particularly vulnerable, with the storm surge posing a significant threat in low-lying areas. Cities along the Arabian and Mediterranean coast, including Istanbul, Izmir, and Antalya, are on high alert as the storm's trajectory suggests that it swept across a densely populated area. Residents have been advised to secure those objects, reinforce windows and doors, and possible evacuate safe locations. The important transpiration is already evident in numerous flights and air service cancelled or delayed. Roads closure and disruption to public transportation are expected. Photo competition destination for those intending to navigate through the storm. Emergency services are stunted by reporting an incident with the rescue teams strategically positionally vulnerable areas. The government has activated a disaster response mechanism coordinated efforts to mitigate the storm impact. Temporary shelters have been set up in key locales, providing refuge to those forced to evacuate. The Turkish Red Crescent and other humanitarian organizations are working alongside our authority to provide assistance to those in need. International agencies are closely monitoring the situation with the neighboring countries, offering support and solidarity. The European Union and United Nations have experienced their red lines to provide assistance to relief efforts and requests by the Turkish government. As the storm progresses, meteorologists are continuously updating their forecast to provide real-time information to the public. The importance to staying informed to healing offshore warning cannot be understated. The storm unpredictable nature makes it essential for residents to remain vigilant to take necessary precautions. While Turkey is no stranger to extreme weather events, it currently storms severe stark reminder of vulnerability of coastal region and the importance of reduced disaster preparedness. As the nation grapples with the immediate challenges posed by the storm, discussion about the long-term resilience and adaptation strategies are likely to gain promises to aftermath in the natural disaster. The storm's impact on the Turkey infrastructure is becoming increasingly evident, with the reports of power outage, fallen trees and localized flooding. Emergency services are working tirelessly to address this issue, but the sheer scale of the storm is testing the limits to their capabilities. In addition to the immediate drainage system, the storm concerns about the aftermath are growing. Landslides, a hill region, and potential destruction are critical services such as healthcare, telecommunication network are significant worries of also. The Turkish government has called to employ force urged citizens to accept their neighbors and follow safety guidelines. The economic implications this storm are also in the case of applications. The disruption to the transportation or commerce could have a lasting impact on businesses, particularly those in tourist and agriculture sector. The timing these storm conditions in tourist season in the coastal areas adding the extra layer of complexity to challenges posed by the local economies. Germany emerged better than and both ready to rebuild. Europe finds itself in the grip of tempestuous battle with the nature of what with powerful storms swept across the continent, leaving a trail of chaos and disruption in the way. From the white-swept coast on the Ireland of the snow-blanket streets of Scandinavia, millions are grappling with the ferocious of elements. In Ireland, where coastal communities are accustomed by the burst of Atlantic gales, the storm surge has battered shorelines and swept waves crashing against the seawalls. Our authorities have issued warning urged residents to remain indoors in case of winds whose speed exceeded 100 km per hour. Through a turn to uproot trees and damage infrastructure. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, transport network have ground the health of the storm and lashed the fury. Flights have been cancelled, trains delayed, and roads rendered treacherous by fallen debris. Emergency services are working tirelessly to clear roads and restore service, but the sheer force of the storm presents a formidable challenge. Across the English Channel, mainland Europe is not spread from the tempest rage. In France, torrential rain has triggered flooding in low-lying areas, pressing residents to evacuate their homes. The icon iconic Elef Tower stands stoically amidst the tumult, a symbol of resilience of the face of adversity. In the German way, the winter chill, still liner, heavy snowfall, exact but the chaos is often both the urban and rural life. Schools are closed, businesses shuttered, and public transportation paralyzed. The country grappled with the dual onslaught of the storm wind. For the east in Scandinavia, the stormy Arctic grip, train layer of blizzard continuation swept across the landslide. Norway, Sweden, and Finland are blackened in the snow with visibility reduced in near-zone some area, despite their reputation of resilience in the harsh winter. As the storm approached, Turkish across the country are heeding the warning, taking necessary precautions, are hoping for the best day they face of challenges presented by nature unpredictable faces. The coming days will undoubtedly test the resilience and preparedness of the Turkish people and they navigate the impact of this powerful storm. In the dramatic tone of when Turkey finds itself in the grip of a formidable storm, its nature unleashed its full force across the nation. The storm, which will begin intensified over the past 2 days, is prompted our authority to issue warning and take precautionary issue to ensure the safety and citizens and property. The Turkish Meteorological Service has classified it. The storm is a severe weather event with the strong winds, heavy rainfall, and potential flooding expected in the region. Coastal areas are particularly vulnerable with the storm surge posing a significant threat in low-lying areas. Cities along the Arabian and Mediterranean coast, including Istanbul, Izmir, and Antalya, are on high alert as the storm trajectory suggests with the swept across this densely populated area. Residents have been advised to secure loose objects, reinforce windows and doors, and possible evacuate to safer locations. Massive floods have wreaked havoc in historic district of Jordan in Paris, France, following heavy rainfall on past few days. They juxtaposed against the raw force of the elements. In the Bavaria, Germany, pictures where southwestern region rural communities face their own battle against the gust of onslaught. Farmers toiled tirelessly to serve livestock and safeguard crops, while vigilant rallied together to support one another in the face of adversity. Across the countryside, the landscape transformed into patchwork of resilience, while solidarity and determination were both against the storm. Transportation networks bursted under situation under the strain of gust of fury, where the railway and the highway all experience disruption. Flights are grounded, trains are delayed, and the roads become treacherous and fall tracing the bruised leather landscape. Yet, amidst the chaos, emergency service walk tirelessly to keep vital lifeline open to ensure the safety of those in need. As nightfall and the gust of fully banned anyway, Germany emergency battle the engulfed communities come together to assess the damage, clear debris, and begin the long process to rebuilding. From the bustling cities to north of tranquil villages on the southern spirit resilience burns the bright, reminded the worst of Germany's underwater resolve in the face of nature's foreign challenges. Germany is in high alert as powerful storm system swept across the nation, bringing with the violence winter and chill wind and create widespread disruption. The German Meteorological Service has issued severe weather warning for the vast stretch of the countries, urged residents to take precautions and remain vigilant. The strong David Gustav Pametologis is expected to make landfall in the northern Germany before rapidly moving eastward and engulfing major cities such as Hamburg, Berlin, and Munich in the path. With a gust of 100 km/h are forecasted posing significant risk to property and public safety. Authorities have cautioned against unnecessary travel and advised residents to secure loose objects outdoors, such as furniture and signage, to prevent them from becoming hazardous, projecting strong winds. Additionally, residents in low-lying areas are being urged prepared to possible flooding in a heavy rainfall could lead to overflowing rivers and localized inundation. Transportation networks are likely to be severely impacted, with a disruption expected across any travel. Airlines have already begun preemptive cancellation and delays, with the train service operation are reduced schedules in anticipation of adverse weather conditions. Drivers are being urged to exercise extreme cautions, particularly on the highway and routes where crosswind is especially dangerous. Emergency services are on a standby by response to incidents that may arise as a result of the storm, with the extra personnel deployed to high-risk areas to ensure the swift coordinated response. Local authorities have set up emergency shelters to those displaced by the storm, are working closely to community organizations to provide support to vulnerable population. In a picturesque neighborhood known as German canals and Coring Bridge have been transformed into waterlogged maze. The river Seine busted banks up major streets, shops and homes as a torrential ice muddy water surged through the sea. Local residents were cut off guard by a sudden deluge, with the many forced and evacuated their property and floodwaters rapidly rose. Emergency service and volunteers have been working tirelessly to rescue stranded individuals to provide shelters to the escaping. The authority have issued a red alert urging residents to remain vigilant and prioritize their safety. The effort had caused significant disruption in the daily life in June January. Public transportation service has been severely affected, with the several bus routes suspended and metro station closed due to water damage. Businesses in the area, including restaurants and boat crews, have been forced to close their doors temporarily, adding to the economic strain caused by ongoing pandemic. The city government has mobilized the rescue to manage the crisis. Homes and cars in the Irish village have been severely damaged after a possible tornado hit the area. Emergency services were called to the village of Leitrim on Sunday afternoon after strong winds felled trees, ripped the roofs off buildings and left debris strewn across the street. Meteorological with war said reports of tornadoes in the area were probably true or definitely involved thunderstorms with a very strong wind. She said the forecast relied on reports and video on social media to state sure whether wind was tornado. Down sky over the UK. UK weather. Rain to intensify due to 4 yellow warning from the Met Office. She added, in a thunderstorm, cold wind spread in direction can change and this races on the cold which causes rotation. And in the funnel shaped cloud in an able stretch all the way to the ground, it causes a tornado. It could have been a strange gust of wind probably over the one other, but people say they saw rotation. They are not very predictable, they only last a couple minutes. A witness to the possible tornado said his dream was spotting the debris as they drove through the storm. Orange wind warning are in effect on Clare, Galway and Mayo counties, indication where a strong coastal wind combined with a high wave and tides. Storm Fedges, the second named storm of the weekend, has also brought yellow wind warning to countries Kerry, Limerick and Tipperary. The storm surge will lead to high seas and along with the storm, there was potential for the coastal flooding along the parts of the west coast, particularly on a high tide. The UK Met Office has also issued several yellow weather warnings for parts of Scotland and Northern England, but no warnings have been issued for Northern Ireland. Bureau of Meteorology Chief Meteorologist Andy Page said Storm Fedge will summarize a turbulent weather weekend for UK. Germany finds itself in the grip of South Gustav, the tempest unprecedented magnitude that swept across the nation, leaving destruction in the chaos in the wake. From the northern coastal regions to the picturesque landscape on the South Gustav relentless to the test of resolve and resilience of the German people. In the Hamburg, Europe's second large port city, in the storm are unleashed in the water of resilience force. High winds whipped through the streets, caused havoc and disruption when torrential rain transformed roads into rivers. The city's flood descended put at the test and authority worked tirelessly to protect vulnerability areas from the inundation. As Gustav swept inland, Berlin burst in the brand, the fury of iconic landmarks such as the Brandenburg Gate to Berlin Wall, standing the silent witness of nature of some power. Streets are deserted as the residents seek shelter from the storm, while emergency service conveyed to response to calls to assistance. In the rural Bavaria, communities rallied together in the face of adversity, offering support to solidarity to those in need, and the farmers worked tirelessly to secure livestock to protect crops and some stock, while villagers come together to clear debris to ensure the safety of their homes. Transportation networks, great and halt of Gustav Fury disrupted rail and road travel across the country. Flights are grounded, trained and deployed to have become impossible to follow. Trees and debris block vital roads. Yet amidst the chaos, emergency working tirelessly to keep essential service running to ensure the safety of the public. As Gustav finally begins to reset, Germany emergency battery to unburden limited determination to rebuild and recover. Communities come together to assess the damage, offering support to assist to those in need. The spirit of resilience burst bright across the nation, reminding the work of Germany's strength and determination in the face of adversity. The Bavarian state government has declared a state of emergency in the affected areas, and the emergency services have been working to clear roads and assess the damage. Many roads have been blocked by debris, making it difficult for emergency service to reach those in need. In Bavaria, Germany, a violent hailstorm has caused extensive damage to homes, cars and coops. The storm struck on Tuesday afternoon and lasted several hours, unleashed in Lechheim storms that pelted the region. Basements were flooded, trees were downed on public roads, and police reported several traffic incidents involving hydroplaning. Firefighters reported that rainwater was falling from fields and moved down in the streets, houses in the basement. German authorities have issued a new weather warning after the storm hit Central and Southern Europe. Germany found itself on the front lines in a fierce battle against the relentless force of nature's storm Gustav, unleashing the fury across the nation. From the northern shores to southern plains on the continent, the country spared from the war and the powerful tempest. The coastal areas such as Hamburg and Bremen and Halle wind will up towering when they crashed against the sea walls, torturing to boost defense and inundate low-lying areas. Residents huddle indoors, breaking themselves on the author, while the emergency responses stand ready to spirit in the action and their moments notice. As Gustav buries inland, urban centers like Berlin and Frankfurt become battleground against the element. In the rural communities, farmers and villagers mobilized to protect their livelihood in the name of Gustav's onslaught. Filled up, flooding and groups are battered by the relentless rain ponds on the threat to food security and the economic stability. Yet, amidst the chaos, the resilience of the German people shine through. Neighbors come together to lend helping hand in the face of adversity. Transportation network, grid and help and train are delayed, flights are cancelled, and highways become impossible. Travelers are stranded, unable to reach their destination, as Gustav wreaked havoc on the infrastructure across the country. Yet, despite the disruption, emergency service worked tirelessly to keep vital lifeline open. They ensured the safety to those in need. A powerful storm swept across Bavaria, Germany, caused widespread destruction and chaos. The storm, characterized by intense wind and heavy rainfall, left a trail of destruction throughout the region. The storm approached meteorologists, warning of the potential impact, urged residents to take necessary precautions. The Bavarian government activated emergency service, preparing the worst-case scenario. Schools were closed and public transport was significantly disrupted as a safety issue. The storm's arrival was met against winds that approached trees, damaged buildings and disrupted power lines. In several towns, roofs were torn off houses and streets were littered in debris. The fierce winds, reaching speeds of over 100 km/h, passed a severe threat to resident safety. Heavy rainfall accompanied the winds, leaving a flash floods in low-lying areas. Rivers and streams overflowed, inundated streets and homes. Emergency service working tirelessly to rescue people trapped in their homes to provide temporary shelters for those displaced by the flooding. The agriculture sector suffered significant losses, with many farms reported damaged crops and infrastructure. The storm also impacted wildfire, with the reports on inhabitants behind destroying animals being displaced. Throughout the ordeal, and the resilience of Bavarian people was evident. Communities came together to support each other, and volunteers helping to clean up efforts and provided aid to those in need. The government pledged financial assistance to those affected by the promises to review its disaster management plans to better prepare for future storms. As Bavaria begins to recover, the storm severe as a reminder of increasing frequency and intensified of extreme weather events likely linked to climate change. Experts call for more robust measures to mitigate the impact of such events and for greater investment in sustainable practices to protect the environment. And challenging night ahead. The townspeople known for their resilience demanded amendment on the order, test and cleanup and recovery, with the unity as the driving force by clean up debris, pumped out flood waters, and become prepared to shelter it to remind of their once comfort time. Through the extent of the damage remained substantial, the intimation spirits trackers smooth cloud. The town embarks a long road to restoration, providing that even in the face of natural fury, the human spirit remained unbroken. In a devastation turn of event, Italy found under the grip of nature fury as a torrential rain triggered widespread flooding and relentless hailstorm strikes various regions. With the river burst, their banks and low-lying areas submerged, rescue operations are underway to aid stranded communities. Pictures bear town and farmlands in northern Italy bear boast on the hailstorm, leaving behind a trail of destruction as troops are ravaged as properties severely damaged. The unrelenting onslaught has left residents shaking to seeking refuge from the ferocity of the elements. Emergency service and disaster response team are working tirelessly to evacuate residents and provide such immediate relief to affected areas. Authorities are urging citizens to exercise extreme cautions to stay indoors to ensure their safety amidst the ongoing natural calamity. A severe hailstorm hit the region of Veneto, Italy, caused extensive damage and caught residents by surprise. The hailstorm, as big as a golf ball, pounded the area relentlessly over the hour, resulting in shattered windows, ruined crops, and dented vehicles. In the aftermath of the tempest, the authorities are evacuating the extent of the devastation, offering assistance in the affected communities. Emergency service promptly responded to the crisis, but the damage was no widespread that local authorities struggled to keep up. Residents faced difficulty in reaching safety, for farmers suffered significant losers, with the vineyard and orange devastation by the storm. Despite the challenges of the people of Veneto demonstrated their resilience of coming together to support one another. with the memories still fresh to the past storm have worked havoc across the country, including the devastation Xavier in 2017. Germans are talking in their threat to Gustav Series and bracing themselves for the what could long a child through the affected areas leveled a trail of shattered windows and danger to hackers in its wake. Local authorities have been working tirelessly to provide aid to support those affected by the scare and the disaster and scattered rescue team. Emergency shelters have been stopped to offer refuge to displaced families, while search and rescue teams navigate treacherous conditions to locate those who are stranded or trapped. Italy's historic agriculture and a cultural hierarchy have also fallen victims in a dual onslaught. The impact of the city infrastructure have been severe, with the reports collapsed bridges and damaged roads hindering rescue efforts. The metro network, a lifeline for many communities, came to gripping half of the tunnels become submerged grave, compounding the chaos. In a shocking turn of events, Barcelona, Spain, finds itself grappling with a catastrophic flood, leaving the city and its residents in the state of turmoil. Torrential rain unprecedented in the intensify unleashed havoc in the region, overwhelming graving system and triggering widespread inundation. As streets transforming in the region, rivers emergency service will be mobilized to aid those affected by the calamity. Brave first response and launching rescue missions widen through the West Deep Water to reach stranded individuals and families trapped in their homes. Helicopters swayed above, plucking people to rooftops, and flood waters continue to rise. As the day progressed, images in submerged cars uprooted, trees and debris strewn streets circulated on social media, painted a grim picture of widespread destruction. Residents clad in the rain, sacked clothing, and were seen banding together to other assistance, displayed admirable resilience in the face of adversity. The floodwaters have also taken to toll Barcelona circulate culture heritage and icon landmarks, including a former Sagrada Familia and historic buildings are witnessing water separated structure damage. In the heat of Europe, Hamburg, Germany's second-largest city in the facing an unprecedented environmental crisis. The city, known for its rich history and vibrant culture, has recently been in the forefront and the catastrophic flood, highlighting the severe impact of the climate change. In the early hour of the morning, the residents of Hamburg woke up to a city submerged underwater. The Elbe River, which has been a lifeline of the city of centuries, transformed into a source of devastation as it burst their banks. This sudden flood has not only disrupted the daily life of the citizen, but also raised serious questions about the city preparedness for such natural disaster. Emergency services have been working tirelessly to rescue those trapped in their homes and provide relief to affected areas. Temporary shelters have been stopped across the city to accommodate those displaced by the floods. However, the task is monumental, but the city resources are scattered thin. The impact of economy is clearly devastating. Hamburg, a major port city, has seen maritime activities for height affected by not only the local economy, but also having ripple effect across Europe. The flood in Hamburg can start reminding of a real times of climate change. Experts have warned that such extreme weather events are likely to become more frequent and intense due to global warming. This disaster has put a spotlight on the need for cities to adapt and build resilience against such climate-related challenges. The weather station of Eilat Tower recorded a widespread of up to 110 km/h. Meteorological Service reported that the level of the Seine rose by 35 cm due to heavy rain. Meteo France has warned of increasing winds and heavy rainfall in the southwest, as well as a signal of the massive central escalating across the country from the southwest to the northeast. Torrential rain have left Paris following the recent heat wave in France that flooded metro station in the French capital. Transportation network have been alerted, with the several flight cancellation and related reported to Charles and Co. Import. Republic Transportation Service have also been particularly affected, as the bus and the train schedules have been modified and ensure passenger safety amidst the tumultuous weather conditions. Another residents of French capital filmed motorists driving through the deep water, ironically saying the Paris is beautiful because you can ever go water skiing here. Paris, France, in a stunning tournament event, the city of London fired itself under the grip of imminent storms set to unleash an euphoria happen on the capital. The meteorological department has issued a severe weather alert, cautioning residents to visitors alike prepare to tumultuous conditions. In the early hour of January, Sicily, Italy autonomous region found itself in the market of a formidable storm, with a wind reaching speed of over 100 km/h, and the related heavy rain and storm led to a trail of destruction in its wake. Residents of Sicily waked to a scene of chaos, uprooted trees, flooded streets, and damaged infrastructure. The storm intensity was such that it unpredicted daily life, closed schools, disrupted transport, and leaving thousands without power. The emergency service working tirelessly to restore order, prioritizing the safety relocated to those affected areas. The island's capital, Palermo, bore the birth of the storm. Historic buildings referred to their architectural beauty severely damaged, while the city narrow cobbler streets turned into fast-flow rivers. Inland town and coastal village alike forced similar devastation, with the local authority declared a state of emergency in several regions. Agriculture, a cornerstone of Sicilian economy, was not spared. Farmers severed their land and gave heroes of the storm-ravaged groups and appended years of hard work. In a shocking turn of events, the picturesque town of Trocchesimo in the province of Udine, Italy, was recently basined in the relentless onslaught of natural fury. A torrential flood accompanied by a violent hailstorm wreaking havoc on tranquil streets, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Residents of Trocchesimo found themselves grappling with the double whammy as floodwater surged through the cobbled alleys, inundated homes and businesses alike. The relentless rain, driven by gear-force winds, transforming in town once peaceful ambience in one of chaos and despair. As emergency sirens roaring through the water-loaded streets, local authorities will mobilize rescue operations, ensure the safety of residents stranded by deluge. The community related together, offering assistance to those affected by extended a helping hand of the vulnerable. Images captured the surreal scene of Hamstone, some a sledge of a golf ball plumping the town rooftops and vehicles, leaving a trail of destruction from silence of a scene from disaster movie. The aftermath related shattered windows, dented vehicles, and bedrock vegetation, testifying of forest and Hamstone. Germany fired itself in those nature fury as storm Gustav swoops relentlessly across the country, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. With the wind's howling speeds reached up to 100 km per hour and the rainfall intensified, authorities have issued widespread warning urging citizens to take immediate precaution. The northern region of Germany burned the birth of Gustav initial Oslo and the coastal areas experienced fire winds and pounding waves. Hamburg, a city accustomed by maritime weather, faced inundation from the storm surge, prompting authorities to close food barriers and deployed emergency response team to blast indefinite. As Gustav burst eastward, it impacted across the major urban centers such as Berlin and Munich. The iconic landmarks of the capital city tremble under to onslaught and relentless gusts, where cities become rivers as rain pours down a decade. The Munich, Bavaria, Bustling metropolis residents handle endure as tourists sway previously outside the Bristol leader in the streets. Transportation networks grease on the half of the storm fury distracted air, rail, and road travel. Airports scrambling the dirty flights and ground planes altogether, while runway operations struggle to maintain service amidst the falling trees and debris on the tracks. Highway resembled obstacle caused the driver navigate treacherous conditions, with authority urged extreme cautions to advise against unnecessary travel. In the rural areas, farmers raced against time to secure livestock and safeguard crops on the onslaught and the wind and the rain. The agriculture hinterland of Germany faced dual threat to crop damage and potential flooding, and the western nation already relenting from the impact of the storm. Emergency service working tirelessly to respond incident, reducing standing motorists, clearing debris from the roads, and ensured the safety of the vulnerability communities. Shelters are opening by providing refuge and those displaced by the storm, offering the warmth and respite from the relentless onslaught of nature war. Amidst the chaos, resilience of German people shine through. Neighbors band together to help one another weather the storm. For the memories of the past calamities, fresh in their minds, communities until the solidarity, demonstrating the strength and spirit that defines Germany resolve in the face of adversity. As Gustav fury begins to wear in the skies gradually clear. Boom! With the darkness sky and ominous cloud gathering about the iconic landmarks, including the Elef Tower and the Notre Dame Cathedral, the bustling streets in the parish are finding their fraught with the occupation with a sting of urgency. Local authorities have urged citizens to execute cautions to stay indoors and the storm intensify escalates. Weather forecasts predict that the temperatures of bring heavy rain accompanied by the foreign gust of wind, posing a threatening control the city infrastructure and public safety. The potential for flash floods and power outage has risen concept about mark of shock will have implemented precautionary measures to minimize the impact.